size 56 Cervelo S5, 17 pounds, 10 ounces, 7.92 kilograms. Stay tuned to after video where you're free to buy some tests on these brand new reserves right here. And before we start off this video, I want to give a huge shout out to Toune Bicycles here in Boca Raton. They were able to go ahead and get me one of these bikes to do a video on. They have these bikes, this one available in a 56, they have a 51 in a black color with SRAM Force, and I believe they have a 54 as well. If you're looking for a Cervelo S5, they have them in stock. Contact them, ask for Ethan. He'll be able to help you out. They're one of the best Cervelo shops out here in the area, in this Boca area. So definitely give them a call, give them a ring. I'll put the details to their location down below. We have here the brand new 2026 Cervelo S5 with its newest iteration, which is currently a worst kept secret as it's being ridden on right now in the Tour de France as this video gets released. This bicycle is the Ultegra Di2 version that comes in right around $9,950 and weighed in at 17 pounds, 10 ounces. But this is, again, their second tier level spec that you can get on here. They made a ton of new changes to the bicycle, mainly the biggest change being the handlebar system right here, now being a one-piece bar and stem combination. Remember, the older style had 2 bolts here, so it was a separate iteration, and it is now full carbon fiber. And we'll talk about the changes of the handlebars because I am here for it in terms of the widths. We'll get into that in just a second. They made the frame much more deeper and much more aero. They said that this bike right here is currently 6.3 watts faster than the old generation of the Cervelo S5 and 8.7 watts faster than the nearest predecessor in any bike company out there. But it's not just all about the frame, it's not just all about the handlebar, because it's a whole package deal of what they're claiming those watts to be. Because if you guys look at this bike as well, they have what looks to be a brand new wheel system on here. This is the Reserve 5764, which are replacing the older models that used to come on all the other bikes as well. So that numbers that I was giving you is a total package number of watts faster. The frame itself, they didn't really shave off a lot. Cervelo knew what they had. It was one of the most sought after aero bikes out there on the market. They already had a really good aerodynamic bicycle. Where the weight savings came in a lot into play was the handlebar and the seat post. They also slimmed down the seat post as well. But the frame itself, I think it only saved 30 grams from this model to last model. But if we look at the frame, the biggest key takeaways are obviously the head tube area. They call it their gussets. This being much deeper. I mean, this head tube area right here is massive, and then you even have this out front fork, which helps out a lot. They made this gusset right here deeper, and also the bottom bracket area gusset deeper as well, which we'll showcase and all that. Now, I'm sure when I drop this video, there's gonna be a ton of other news medias out there that's gonna be dropping white papers, all these different things. That's great, but we're showcasing this model right here, showcasing what the bike comes with, the weight of the bike to get a real world weight, and we'll talk a little bit about the aerodynamics and everything else. The bicycle does also have the key feature of a UDH hanger on here as well. So now you can run that 1x13 speed XPLR group or Explorer if you wanted to. I'm currently running that setup on my bike here down in Florida. I have a 50 tooth in the front with a 13 speed gear in the back with a UDH hanger. Phenomenal. I think it's one of the best systems to modern day road bikes out there for sure. Now there is a place where front derailleur is needed obviously, but a 1x13 setup with the right chainring can solve a lot of people's issues out there. So let's go ahead and get into everything they changed on this bicycle, and then we'll talk about the features that we see here currently on this Cervelo S5 here in red in front of us. So let's start off at the top of the bike here being this one-piece bar and stem combination, the V for Victory Cervelo one-piece bar and stem. This is now a fully carbon fiber handlebar, and they have a massive opening right here to better help with aerodynamics. They said that this was the frontal area was one of the main areas they wanted to go ahead and take for aerodynamics because this is going to be the area that gets hit the most of the bike. So this allows air to go cleanly pass through here and not get disrupted with dirty airflow with a traditional one-piece bar and stem that just has a normal flat stem here sitting, and it's going to cause a lot of dirty air. With this handlebar right here, it is currently 100 grams lighter in same size configuration than the previous generation. Also, they lighten up the hardware as well. I think making it an extra like 12 grams with like nuts and bolts or all the fixings on here to go ahead and lighten up over. So the total cockpit situation is about 110 grams lighter. You do have an out front here mount that's similar to the Aspero. but it is a very, very nice looking handlebar. Definitely a much steeper step up than what it used to be, a bigger hole opening as well. But not only that, they also changed the handlebar reach. I believe they shortened it by 5 mils from the previous one as well. And they added a flare to this bar. So this bar right here in a 56 currently has a 40 mil handlebar. It comes stock with a 40 mil, which I'm sure a lot of people like, and it flares out to a 44. That's going to be their biggest bar offering that they will give to consumers, which I like. I think it's trending in the way the bicycle industry is going. A lot more people like the more narrower cockpit. And the smallest one they have to offer is a 36. So for all you CERVELO S5 handlebar owners that didn't have that opportunity or choice with their old S5, you can now go ahead and get that on the new handlebar here as well. So a 36 on the top would flare out to, I believe, a 40, a 38, 42, and a 40, 44. So now you have those opportunities on there as well. And they're speccing them on smaller bikes. Like a size 51 will come with a 38, 42, which is a really nice dropout feature. You still have the aerodynamics and the hoods, but you also have the confidence in the drops for sprinting and also descending, which is always really, really nice. But yeah, I think they did a really, really good job in terms of the look of the design for aerodynamics, and also just a carbon fiber bar will also be a little bit more compliant up here as well, and that will help with the overall feel and ride of the bike. Definitely a little bit more snappier when you go ahead and take off on a climb, sprints, or whatever you're trying to do on there. With this bike as well, the front fork is much deeper. If we saw on the spy photos, it's the exact same thing we're seeing here. The fork blades are much wider. When doing this, everyone thinks that this whole entire bike will be lighter. No. The front fork, they actually added, I think, like 40 or 50 grams to the fork. Obviously, you're adding more material to it. So this will go ahead and result in a heavier fork. But with the aerodynamic benefit you get to this frontal area, again, the deeper head tube, the deeper fork, the deeper front wheel, the better handlebar, you're going to get better aerodynamics. Again, being that 6.3 watts faster than the old S5 setup with the reserve wheels that came stock on that as well. So you have deeper forks in there to allow for better aerodynamics in there. I didn't get a tire clearance on here. The old S5 used to be able to take up to a 35C tire. Going here to the back, these are 729C tires. It looks pretty tight. These are 29s. I don't know if it can take 35s. That would have to be for a CERVELO person to answer, or another channel to answer maybe. But it looks, the front fork, I think you got all day. But in the other opportunities, I have no idea on that one. Maybe the max right now I'm guessing is 32. It might have room to go 35 depending on the rim and tire combination, but yes, that is a nice choice. Now going to, also I was told that this front disc brake adapter, I think you can only fit a 160 millimeter rotor on here as well, which a lot of other bike manufacturers are going to. No more 140, 140 combination. So I think this is their own proprietary fixin for the front fork to allow that on there. Going to the front wheel, this is a big update to this bike as well with the wheel launch. It's again a whole package. These are the brand new Reserve 5764s, so a much deeper wheel than what the predecessors were. So going away from the 5263, this is now the 5764, and obviously just adding more carbon fiber to the bicycle to go ahead and get the aerodynamic numbers they were looking to achieve. They want to go ahead and make the front wheel deeper, the back wheel deeper, but keep the same weight of what the 5263, I believe, that the other wheels were. They want to keep them around the same weight of what they were. So with the 5764, you have the same rim design that you guys all know and love with the Reserve. You have bladed spokes. These are DT240s. Obviously, the higher end models will come with DT280s. I'm sorry, DT180s. But you're going to achieve better aerodynamics at the same weight as well. So they were just able to go ahead and achieve the better aerodynamic profile that they wanted to on this all-out aero bike. And I'm here for it. I always love aerodynamic bikes. I like deep wheels on bikes. I currently run a 65 front, 75 rear on my bike. So I've always been a big fan of a deeper wheel on there as well. So it's very nice. This bike right here comes equipped with the Vittoria Corsa Pro and a 700 with 29C. The weight I gave you guys as well is with the butyl tube inside there, so you can definitely lighten it up there. But Reserve wheels have never been known to be a crazy lightweight number. I think even with DT 180s, they were still around that 1400, 1450 gram weight wheel set. So, but the ride quality, the rim stiffness, the actual rider feel of the reserve wheels are some of the best out there, and you're starting to see them pop up almost everywhere. They're pretty much as popular as MV out there. So they have a whole new wheel set lineup made specifically for this entire package of this bicycle right here. All right, so now we got everything new out of this bike that we were able to showcase on and give you guys the white pages of what they changed on this bicycle. Let's go ahead and showcase what this bike comes with for that $10,000 price tag on there. You have the Shimano Ultegra 12-speed Di2 system, 12 gears in the rear, 2 in the front, the semi-wireless hydraulic shifters up top here, Ultegra Di2. You get included with the bike purchase an out front mount. Nice cover-ups as well to cover up that hardware. Corrosion was a big thing down here in South Florida, so we used to see a ton of S5s with rusted out bolts. This was, again, they went ahead and achieved it by adding lighter hardware and cover plates on here as well. Going down to the front wheel, we have a 700 by 29C Vittoria Corsa Pro and a 29, an Ultegra front disc brake caliper, and a 160 millimeter Ultegra disc brake rotor. Nice, clean, tucked away front wheel down underneath that down tube. And right here, we can see those deeper gussets of what they call them, but just the deeper tubing in that head tube area, the deeper tubing in that bottom bracket area, and the deeper tubing in that seat tube area as well. They still keep the BB right bottom bracket on here with the Ultegra Di2 front crank, and it comes equipped with a power meter on here. You have 3 positions for a water bottle. I'm sorry, 2 positions for a water bottle with 3 bolts right here. Lower will be more aerodynamic. Higher if you want to achieve a better bottle position placement. One against the actual seat tube of the bike. The UCI sticker right here as well. Coming across to the S5 logo, we have it right here. You have your seat post mounting bolt that is going to go ahead and tighten it down. Much thinner seat post as well, which is going to be a little bit lighter. That was another way they were able to achieve a lighter weight system. And also with that thinner seat post, it should be hopefully a little bit more compliant as well. You have a 4i dual-sided power meter with a 5236 crank on there as well. Ultegra front derailleur with an Ultegra chain and an 1134 rear cassette, along with the UDH hanger. And they're also running these things. If it's Shimano, it's going to come with a direct mount hanger, easier wheel removal system for consumers and also pro teams, which is also really nice. I like to see that they're doing more direct mount hangers and stuff. But you can see how little tire clearance there is in the back there already with a 29. Great for aerodynamics, tucked up right there. It does have an asymmetric frame design where you can see this is kind of cut away some material. You have some nice looks on the side right there. But there is a nice little, just a little tad bit of an offset on the non-drive side. Showcase right there. 160 millimeter rotor in the rear, and then also the Shimano 160 disc brake rotor. Going to the back, we have a Sella Italia saddle. Nice cutout, nice comfort. Well, that actually feels really good. I don't mess around with Sella Italia too much. Usually all our bikes come stock with Synchros or Revolve stuff, so that's pretty cool. And then the rear wheel is the Reserve 64 with a DT240 and bladed spokes in there. But yes, they will make different models. I believe the Durace or red version will be like 14,000, 14,500, somewhere in that area. But the CERVELO S5 as a whole, everyone knew that this was one of the most aerodynamic bikes out there on the market. Whenever any company tested their bike against the most aerodynamic bike out there, this was a bike the other companies were talking about. And there's no question about it. It screams aerodynamics. It has been for a long time. Even in the white papers, they're basically saying, look, we already know we have a great bike. Let's not screw it up. Let's make something that's really good. So just add on to it like they did with the other version. They keep on just making these small little revisions to make the bike better. There's not going to be anything that's going to be game-changing, but it's just going to be better for the consumer. A lot has to do with that front end and also that new bar. But this is the brand new 2026 CERVELO S5 with Ultegra Di2 and the 5764 reserves. This is a size 56. And yeah, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for that free buy sound. Here comes a free buy sound test on this Reserve 64 DT240 hub right here. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.